What if the real competition isn't other people? What if the real battle is happening inside your own mind? Most people think success is about defeating others, being smarter, stronger, more talented. But the truth is far more uncomfortable. The biggest victories don't happen in public. They happen in silence, in discipline. If you learn how your mind works and how other minds react, you don't need to defeat anyone. You simply rise above them. Psychology is not about manipulation. It is about understanding patterns. Human behavior follows predictable loops. Emotions influence decisions more than logic. Confidence often beats competence. Perception shapes reality. When you understand these principles, you stop reacting emotionally and start responding strategically. That shift alone separates average people from powerful ones. The first psychological advantage is emotional control. Most people lose, not because they lack ability, but because they lack control over their reactions. Anger makes them impulsive. Fear makes them hesitate. Jealousy makes them distracted. In every competitive environment, business, relationships, leadership, the person who controls their emotions controls the outcome. When you remain calm under pressure, others feel Italiano. Stability creates authority. Emotional discipline creates influence. Another powerful principle is perception management. Humans judge quickly. Within seconds, people decide whether you are confident, weak, trustworthy, or unsure. Your posture, tone, pace of speech, and eye contact communicate more than your words. Psychology teaches that certainty persuades more than complexity. If you speak clearly and decisively, people assume competence. If you hesitate, they sense doubt. Mastering perception is not deception. It is alignment, making sure your internal confidence matches your external presence. Self-discipline is psychological dominance over your own impulses. Most people are ruled by short-term emotions. They scroll instead of work. They react instead of think. They complain instead of improv. When you develop discipline, you become rare. Rare behavior stands out, and rarity attracts attention and respect. Discipline is not about harshness. It is about consistency. When your actions align daily with your goals, momentum builds. Momentum creates advantage. Understanding cognitive biases gives you another edge. Humans are not purely logical. They are influenced by confirmation bias, social proof, authority bias, and emotional framing. When you recognize these patterns, you stop being controlled by them. You question your own assumptions. You resist emotional manipulation. You make decisions based on clarity rather than pressure. That awareness alone puts you ahead of most people who operate on autopilot. Silence is another underestimated psychological strength. People who talk excessively reveal insecurity. People who listen gain power. When you listen carefully, others reveal their motivations, fears, and desires. Knowledge of motivation allows you to communicate more effectively. The quiet observer often understands the room better than the loud participant. In negotiations, leadership, and conflict, restraint increases influence. Confidence is deeply psychological. It does not come from winning first. It comes from acting despite uncertainty. The brain rewires through action. Each time you face discomfort and survive it, your mind updates its internal narrative. You begin to see yourself as capable. That self-perception shifts posture, tone, and decision-making. Others feel that shift instantly. Confidence is contagious. Another principle of psychological strength is detachment from validation. When you rely on external approval, you become controllable. Praise makes you dependent. Criticism makes you defensive. But when your standards come from within, you become stable. Stability commands respect. People sense when you are not seeking approval. That independence changes dynamics in every interaction. Strategic thinking also separates those who lead from those who follow. Most individuals react to immediate stimuli. Strategic thinkers pause. They ask, what is the long-term outcome? What is the hidden incentive? What pattern is repeating? That pause allows smarter moves. Psychology teaches that delayed gratification correlates strongly with success. When you can resist immediate pleasure for long-term gain, You automatically outpace impulsive competitors. Resilience is perhaps the greatest psychological weapon. Life will test everyone. Failure, rejection, and loss are universal. The difference lies in interpretation. Some people interpret setbacks as identity attacks. Others interpret them as data. When you treat failure as feedback, you reduce fear. Reduced fear increases action. Increased action increases probability of success. The cycle compounds. Influence is not about overpowering others. It is about understanding human needs. People want to feel heard, respected, and valued. When you provide those feelings genuinely, you build trust. Trust increases persuasion. Persuasion increases opportunity. Psychology shows that people are more likely to cooperate with those they perceive as similar and empathetic. Connection amplifies power. Body language shapes internal psychology as well. Research shows that posture affects confidence levels. Standing upright, breathing deeply, and moving with intention sends signals to your brain. Your mind responds to your body as much as your body responds to your mind. Alignment between physical and mental state strengthens presence. Mental clarity requires reducing noise. Constant stimulation weakens focus. Focus is power. When you can concentrate deeply on one objective, you move faster than distracted individuals. Deep work builds expertise. Expertise builds authority. Authority builds influence. The chain begins with attention control. Self-awareness is critical. Without it, intelligence becomes arrogance. With it, intelligence becomes adaptability. Knowing your triggers prevents impulsive reactions. Knowing your strengths allows strategic positioning. Honest self-evaluation is uncomfortable but transformative. Growth begins with accurate self. One of the strongest psychological advantages is patience. In a world addicted to speed, patience is leverage. Many people quit before results compound. Those who persist quietly often surpass louder competitors. Time magnifies consistent effort. The ultimate truth is this: you don't defeat everyone by attacking them, you rise above them by mastering yourself. When your emotions are stable, your discipline consistent, your perception controlled, your thinking strategic, and your confidence internal, you become difficult to shake. Most people defeat themselves through impatience, ego, distraction, and fear. If you eliminate those weaknesses within yourself, you automatically gain advantage. Psychology is not about tricks. It is about awareness. Awareness reduces reaction. Reduced reaction increases control. Control builds power. And power, when guided by integrity, builds long-term success. The strongest person in any room is not the loudest. It is the calmest. The most dangerous competitor is not the most aggressive. It is the most disciplined. The greatest advantage is not talent alone. It is self-mastery. If you truly want to win in life, stop focusing on defeating others. Focus on defeating your lower impulses. Master your psychology. Train your mind. Control your reactions. Build resilience. And watch how naturally you rise. Because the ultimate victory is not conquering people. It is conquering yourself.